Good evening. In 2021, I had the privilege of taking our adult Bible class through the 11 books in the Old Testament tell the story of redemptive history as it applies to us in our Christian church. This coming Sunday, January the 8th, I'm going to be able to pick up the theme of that story again through redemptive history and carry it on into the New Testament. Marvelous books there, very challenging, very exciting. But when we get to the New Testament, it's really strange because there's people, lands, cities, and even languages that pop up in the story of the Gospels of the life of Christ that we haven't heard before in the Old Testament. And it's just like you're reading through a novel and you come to a part of the story that you can't connect it with the past. You don't know, maybe you missed a chapter or something. Well, there is a missing point that's between the Old Testament and the New Testament that covers a time period of about 400 years. During that time, there's no prophetic voice from heaven. There's no inspired writings of God that are given to men. And it's a period of time that's just completely blank there in the pages of Scripture. It ends in the last chapter of the book of Malachi, begins in the first chapter of Matthew. And in our Bibles that we carry and have in our homes, there may or may not be one blank page between those two books. But there's a lot of time that's transpired between those. A lot of events have transpired. A lot of people have come and gone, and some names and terminology and languages come into play that we haven't seen before. And we're going to try to connect the dots before we go into the Gospels. We're going to try to connect the dots of that 400-year period to bring Malachi's vision and his prophecy on up into the book of Matthew. And we're going to do it in our Bible class this coming Sunday, January the 8th. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be interesting. I find it very interesting. It's just marvelous to watch and see the hand of God as it unfolds in all these events, bringing us into the birth of Christ. And we've just passed the Christmas season where we celebrated the birth of Christ. But we're going to see some events that lead up to that time. And they are exciting. How God has brought all this story down to us in 2023. And I hope you'll make plans to be with us tomorrow in our adult Bible class. Thank you.